this tomfoolery, we have the key players right here, right now, to tell you all about this new vision of horror. First off, let's bring out the suckers, actors, who allow themselves to be physically, mentally, and emotionally abused on camera for our enjoyment. Come right over there. Lou Taylor Pucci's coming out first. Shiloh Fernandez. Jessica Lucas and Jane Levy. There they are. Wow. And now the guy who's going to be giving you nightmares for the rest of your life, Evil Dead director Fede Alvarez. And finally, is that a poop stick or is someone just happy to see you? The man who put Evil Dead on the map, and what a disgusting map it is, producer and professional Deadite slayer, the always groovy Bruce Campbell! Yeah, looking good, Bruce. It's snappy. All right, calm down out there, people. Bruce.
Yes.
For a while, you guys, you seem to be toying with the idea of either an Evil Dead sequel or a remake. Weren't sure which. I know you wrote all about this in the new issue of Entertainment Weekly, On Stands Now.
Good time.
You like that plug? That nice? But for those of the people that didn't get to a chance to buy that magazine,
God.
why don't you explain, why did you decide?
Is this about Evil Dead or your stupid magazine?
A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Why did you decide to go with this sort of reboot route you did?
It's a good question, and it happened over a lumpy period of time. We always had talked about a sequel, not a remake, until this guy got involved. A sequel never really happened because Sam Raimi was making the biggest movies in Hollywood. Spider-Man took 10 years of his life. I've been on a TV show for 7 years. The highly rated Burn Notice. Thank you for noticing that. So when the hell were we going to do it? Each of these movies takes 2 or 3 years of our lives, so it didn't seem practical. Fede made a short on the internet called Panic Attack. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool. 2 weeks later, this schmo is in everybody's Hollywood office. He signs with CAA. I can't get these assholes on the phone. And he signed with them. Sorry, CAA, if some of you assholes are there. But anyway, so one of his meetings was with Sam. And Sam found out that he was an Evil Dead fan. And you can tell an Evil Dead fan who's a real Evil Dead fan because they won't fucking shut up about it. So that's how he knew. So they got to talking. They were going to make a feature version of Panic Attack, which got bogged down into development hell. Huge surprise. And so Fede started pitching ideas, and one of them was an Evil Dead without the Ash character with 5 new suckers, victims. And that way it would allow us, because Sam was very sensitive to the idea of being able to make another Evil Dead with the Ash character and allowing Fede to come up with his whole new take on a whole new series of movies. So when I'm in my golden years, I want to be able to introduce 4 Evil Dead movies and 3 other Evil Dead movies. I think 7 is a good number. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I just need a few more. So that's the short version.
All right. Fede, I've seen the movie, and I gotta know, how the hell did you get an R rating for this? I love it. The rating disclaimer, people, says strong bloody violence and gore, some sexual content and language, which doesn't even begin to describe the stuff that's going down in this film. So did you have to take anything out to get that R rating, or what?
No, I mean, MPA can really drive you crazy sometimes, and they were really helpful. In this one, they were really helpful. They were very precise about what was the problem with the movie. Like if we were going to, based on the script. They were saying like, well, that scene, that scene, that scene, they're a little bit too disturbing. I see, witness it. And so we never had to get rid of anything, which is the good news. They would just trim 5 frames and we got it our way. So we're standing right on the line, and that way, this is definitely by far the hardest R-rated movie out there.
I think they interpreted the carnage and mayhem as exuberant.
Yeah.
Rather than like torture porn, which makes you want to go back to your room and kill yourself.
Pretty much.
That's it.
I mean, right? At the end of the Evil Dead screens we've been having, people are talking. They're jibber-jabbing because there's a lot of nervous energy. You watch a torture porn movie and they're all dead at the end of the movie. They've all killed themselves. This isn't like that. This is.
There's always a hero in an Evil Dead movie, right? Like the difference between this movie and other horror movies, I think, is there's always, instead of the characters being just victims, somebody always gonna take a stand at the end and gonna fight back, which is always awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Well, hero or not, I mean, Jane, the amount of abuse you take in this film is just absurd. I mean, did this bastard Fede apologize to you while he was drenching you in blood, stabbing you, and having you molested by vines and whatnot?
I don't know. There was no apology. Do you want to apologize right now?
A public apology.
No, I mean,
Maybe.
we're still friends, so that means something.
Give me your worst day on set, Jane. Give us a little insight to your worst day on set.
I think the hardest thing I did in this movie was get buried alive.
Oh, big deal.
Yeah, we did it a couple ways, but one of the ways was with a plastic bag tied around my head, and I had an oxygen tube sneaky behind my ear, and I laid in a ditch until I was completely covered with dirt. And Fede, for the shot when it was my face, and my face was getting covered as I'm screaming at my brother, is the one who put the dirt on my face until I completely disappeared. And then I had to
Sam
crawl my
Raimi
way
would
out.
be proud.
But it's because at the end of the day, I mean, all of you guys, like, when you go watch a movie, do you want to see a lot of fake stuff or you want to see a lot of real stuff? I want to see real stuff. I don't want to see people faking it. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. And they're not really scared. And I think at the end of the day, it was great for them. They were not faking it. They were, everything you see on the camera is like pretty real. What you see on the screen, but that's the whole point.
No actors will ever work with you again. Ever.
Just human beings.
Jessica, you didn't get off easy either. I mean, you've been around, you've done plenty of TV and movies, but have you ever had to cut, half your face off as any of those roles that have been part of the job description?
No. I have done a few horror films, but this was probably the most extreme physically that I had to do. It was really tough and grueling, but really worth it. It looks incredible.
How do you research cutting your face off with a piece of glass?
Trial and error,
Yeah, you don't. We actually had a movement specialist come in and teach us all how to move like zombies and contort our bodies in interesting ways. And, that was very helpful.
I love Lou. Look at Lou sitting here looking all innocent. Dude, we've seen the trailer. You're the one messing with the Book of the Dead. You're writing down notes, you're scribbling, incantations, you're reciting incantations. Like, this is all on you, man. This is all on you.
I'm glad I had a Latin dictionary with me. It was really helpful to kill everyone.
Well, you grew up in New Jersey, so clearly you've seen some scary shit. I can say that because I live in New Jersey, so that's all right. But were you prepared for this level of carnage when you signed on for this?
No, I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was really happy to get into it. I've been a fan since I was 15, and watching these things when you're 15 years old and watching Bruce Campbell be amazing. And my favorite was Evil Dead 2, but now after watching Evil Dead 1 so many times, to not screw this one up for me, I had fallen in love with that one. And I just think it's one of the best trilogies, cult trilogies that we have. So why not make it awesome again?
Hold on.
Keep that in mind during the Q&A session, all right? You might get a little something. Shiloh, are you able to watch this movie without closing your eyes? I mean, be honest now. Don't lie to me.
No, I won't lie. It was tough. I
I sat in this thing. I was definitely screaming, and Lou was actually sitting right in front of me, and I punched him, and I grabbed him, and I squeezed him, and I think his shoulder was bruised the next day. It was exhausting. I literally almost fell down with exhaustion after watching this movie.
Bruce, you talked a little bit about having sort of, the Evil Dead original sort of universe, the Ash universe, if you want to call it, and now the new sort of Evil Dead thing. Is there any chance of these two worlds crossing? I mean, couldn't this just have happened at the same cabin 30 years later?
I'm going to let Fetty answer that question.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, the whole point, I think, and my dream, just as a fan, it's nothing official, but my dream is to make, of course, a sequel to this film, and while Sam is making Army of Darkness 2, and then connecting the two sagas together into one final epic film where we connect the character from this film with Sam's film. So that would be the dream come true for me to watch all.
That is awesome! Oh my god. I love it. But it's interesting because there are a lot of nods to the original in this film. You know, you see the chainsaw, you see the hand, maybe Ash's car is in there somewhere, but they're all incorporated in very different ways. So tell me about striking that balance of nodding to those things, but also, coming up with your own vision for how it was going to play out.
But the whole challenge was making a film for two audiences at the same time. The fans of the original and the new audience that never heard about the original film, right? There's a new audience out there of younger people that probably never heard about the original Evil Dead. And it was very important for us to make the movie for both of them. So that's why we took some elements from the original films. Just as a fan, I just couldn't stop putting those in, there's so many elements of the original film that are in this one. But at the same time, we want to create a new film that, if you haven't seen any of the original, it will work for you and you're not going to feel like you're missing out on things, right? So it was a challenge striking the balance, but I put a lot of things from the original film. I couldn't help it.
Jave, you guys were talking, Fetty was talking sort of about so many effects are done on computers these days, and when you look at this film, it's so old school. It looks like it was done on the spot as opposed to post-production, and I love that old school feel, but I can't imagine it was fun to, right? So much better, so much scarier. We love it, but I can't imagine it was fun to barf out geysers of blood all over people, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was, maybe you loved it.
Sometimes it was fun, and sometimes, I guess it depends on what your definition of fun is, but when I projectile vomit all over this beautiful woman's face, that felt pretty weird. It's like this huge tube of probably an
Jane,
inch and a half
explain
diameter.
exactly how that works, how you shove that tube up your mouth first. Explain how that works.
Yeah, a tube, really thick tube that's
It's kind of like an umbrella, right? At the bottom, at the top?
It is kind of like an umbrella, and that the umbrella part is on the back of your throat, and then a copious amount of this disgusting orange fluid is shot to the back of my throat and then all over her face.
But then it hits the inverted umbrella and comes out. Well, you shove an umbrella down your throat and then you pump it back out. And I thought it was very ingenious. Freddie, you came up with that crazy design.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun creating those devices.
Good times. Bruce, I'm looking out here, I just see fans. I see huge fans. They came all the way here for this special event. Is there any chance that you have something, special for them? Maybe a special video of some sort that we might be able to show?
Yes, we do. We're going to show you a clip from the actual movie, a sequence, a rather horrifying sequence. So if any of those little brat kids snuck back in, this is the time to get the hell out. And it's introduced, the sequence you're about to see is introduced by someone very special.
All right, let's check it out. Let's roll it.
No recording of any kind.
I cannot stress this enough. It's all Lou's fault. He read from the book. That's what happens. The best part was watching you guys, because this whole first row here is just like, oh my god, excellent. The only thing scarier than that clip is going to be what happens to me if I don't get some audience questions in here. So let's open it up to the floor right back here in the middle. We already have a line right there, and oh my god.
Can we also add more house lights?
Yeah,
So we can
house
see
lights.
this.
Little house lights. So we can see
Oh, they've got that's too much.
Speaking of scary, check out this guy. All right, man.
Wow. There you go.
Go ahead.
Hello. Oh, sorry. My name's Captain Comic-Con. Nice to meet you all. My question is for Bruce Campbell.
Yes, Captain Comic-Con. What can I answer for you in your bizarro world?
My question for you is, I know we're probably not going to see you in this one, but...
How do you know? Have you seen it? There's only one way to find out, sir. Do you think I'm in it?
Is there a possibility of seeing you in this or any of the later new Evil Deads?
Yes. Yes, Captain Comic-Con, there's a chance.
In my dreams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Comic-Con.
Here comes the Queen of Comic-Con, right up next. Your Majesty.
Hello, my name's Kendra, and I was asking for Bruce.
Kendra, who are you today?
I am Wick from the Devil's Carnival.
Oh, so silly that I didn't notice that. You certainly are, aren't you?
Okay, from your work on the original Evil Dead series to now, what would be your favorite part of the original, specifically Army of Darkness, and today's movie?
You're asking me for my favorite part, but you're saying I have to address it in terms of Army of Darkness.
No, but...
You want it both ways, don't you, lady? My favorite part of making these movies? Jane, what was your favorite part of making these movies? When it ended? You say that like there was a favorite part. Very glad that you like these movies. Captain Comic-Con would like to speak with you. The point is that, they're very difficult to make physically, but for some reason, a movie that's easy to make, I feel, is hard to watch. So I think the audience knows when the people involved are actually kind of working for a living and working hard. And usually these movies push it a little harder than the average movie. The actors work a little harder. Director works a little harder, and hopefully it seems like you folks tend to appreciate that. So, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Jeremy, and my question is for Bruce. What was it like coming back to the producer and reliving the carnage?
What about the carnage?
Reliving it.
Do I what?
What was it like reliving the carnage?
What was it like reliving the carnage? What was it like watching other actors go through the carnage? Absolutely fantastic. I saw the first picture of Jane was sent from New Zealand, and she was in a tube top. She had a little bald cap on, and they were pouring the blue shit over her head to make the very first mold. She doesn't know this, but me and Sam and Rob passed this photo around to each other going, hey, she's in the soup. She's in the soup. Sorry, Jane, we care about you a lot. It was great to see her in the suit.
Yes. Hi. I just wanted to know, when you guys sat down to do this, what looks like an amazingly horrific, violent rendition of a favorite film, what did you decide was the most important, elements that you had to keep? What was the heart and soul of the Evil Dead, franchise and movies?
Fede, as a fan?
Well, I think we decided not to, put ourselves any rules. It was all about having no rules. There was nothing that was going to be too much. Nothing was going to be too outrageous. Nothing was going to be too bloody. It had to be completely over the top and like something you'd never seen before. Because when I've seen the original film, that was the experience I got out of it. When I watched the original Evil Dead, I thought like when I thought the scene was over, it was just beginning, right? That was the whole idea in the original film. I think that's what we're trying to do in this one too. When you think it's just gonna, it's not gonna get any worse, it's just beginning. I mean, that scene you just saw, that's quite early.
It's like one of the first.
Things
Just getting warmed up.
worse every moment, and that's quite early in the story. So imagine what it gets, right? So that was kind of the spirit of the original that we want to bring back.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey guys, my name is Derek. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, obviously that's why I'm here. I just wanted to ask Fede, what was the hardest part of the production? What particularly gave you a really hard time? Practical effects, anything?
Everything is hard, but when you're making this kind of movies, nothing is a walk in the park. I think definitely the decision of doing everything practical was something that when I said it during pre-production, you know what, I don't want to hear the word CGI on this set. When I said that, it sounds like fun. Then when I was shooting it, I was like, oh my God, what did I get into? But it was great. I think it really paid off in the story. So that was definitely the hardest part. There were some shots in this film that it took an entire day just to do one shot, because after you cut somebody's arm, it's hard to glue it back together and do another shot. So it takes a lot of time. So that was the hardest part, definitely. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, this message is for Mr. Campbell. Over the years, you have demonstrated your quick wit, and many more have talked about your incredibly good looks. My question then is horror going to be your new genre as opposed to comedic, and are you going to be making any more films that way?
Will I be making what kind of film?
Is your genre going to change to horror films as opposed to being comedic as it has been in the past? Or are you going to be making any more films that way?
Well, ma'am, as an actor, we look for any role that is significant and important. So that's what I look for, whether it's a comedic role or a horrific role or a horrific comedic role. Mostly just the role.
Thank you.
My heart be back.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Here it is. Much better now. Yeah, that helped a lot putting that hat back on.
My question is for Jane. Big fan of Suburgatory. My wife makes me DVR it. So. But anyway, my question was, what drove you to do this role? Because obviously all the other stuff you've done has been completely different, Fun Size and Suburgatory. So what drew you to this?
I think the very first thing that I thought of was that attracted me to it was just that it was the diametric opposite to Suburgatory and to other comedies that I had worked on. And I was also really curious about the horror genre in general. I'm not a fan, but I get really scared easily and I don't see horror films that much, but there's something really compelling about them, and obviously people like them a lot. And I read the script and it's the horror of all horror films, so if I was going to be a part of it, this one was definitely the one I wanted to do. And also, I get to play a lot of different characters in this movie.
And in Suburgatory, they will be burying her alive.
What's up, man?
How's it going? Bruce, huge fan of all your work, but this is for everyone. Since Evil Dead's such a cult classic, how intimidated were you to remake it?
Let's go. Let's start with Lou and go down.
It was no pressure.
Says the guy that read the Book of the Dead.
I don't know. I loved it since I was a kid, and honestly, I didn't think that we could screw it up because it was written so well. I thought Rodo and Fetty did such a good job with it. People sounded like they were talking to each other. They created sincere drama out of what was plot holes. Like, why are they at the cabin? Well, they answer that in this one. And so I just thought it was a real movie. And now it's even more than that. Now it's an experience. It's like a roller coaster ride. It doesn't let you off until you can't breathe and you're dying. That's how I felt anyway.
Shala?
Great answer. I think, I felt like if I thought about the pressure, there's an immense amount of pressure, and I think this fan base is probably one of the most loyal, sort of die-hard fan bases. I probably would have crumbled. So I tried to ignore it best I could and just trust in Fede and Bruce and trust that they were going to sort of lead us in the right direction.
I wasn't at all familiar with the movies before we shot, and I'm actually grateful for that because I didn't have that pressure going in. I didn't feel it as much. And Bruce and Sam were amazing. They sent us all an email before just telling us to do our own thing, and that they supported us wholeheartedly in what we were doing. And so I never felt it.
June?
Yeah, it was Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi's, and Rob Tappert's idea to remake this movie. So if they wanted to do that, I thought that there must be a pretty good reason, and I trusted them.
For me, well, yeah, definitely. But I think the moment we find the right story for the movie, I was confident that people were going to like it. And also, you have to, I don't know, from my point of view, I saw Sam announcing he was going to remake it at some point. My friends and I myself were all big Evil Dead fans, and when we heard that news, we were so pissed. I can't explain it. I was like, how come they're gonna do it? Like some Hollywood dude is gonna grab this movie, it's gonna turn it into shit. My God.
You're that dude.
And then suddenly, you're the dude. Like 2 years later, Sam is asking me, will you do it for me? And I'm like, oh. And then I was like, you know what? Yes. I do. I'm cool because I know my friends. I know what the movie they want to see. And my friends are all big Sam Raimi and Evil Dead fans. So I know myself. I know my friends. I know what kind of movie they want to see. Just a very violent, non-CGI, straightforward, crazy movie. So if I do it, I'm cool with the idea. So in that moment, I was so happy with it that it gave me the chance to do it. Otherwise, somebody else could have won it, right? So that was kind of my point of view. I was happy that I was doing it, not just somebody else somewhere.
All right. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Eric. I just wanted to ask Mr. Bruce Campbell what he thought about the comic Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies, because I thought that was so interesting when I saw it. I just wanted to know what you thought of it.
It's sort of like Ash versus Jason versus Freddy. We had a conversation about that with New Line Cinema, and it went kind of like this. Hi, we'd like to have Ash go up against Jason and Freddy. And we were like, great idea. Now Ash can kill both of them. And there was a big pause on the other end of the line. And they went, no, actually you can't. So we went, click. That was the entire conversation that was